Have you ever trusted someone so deeply that you never even imagined they could betray you? Well, this is the story of Maya and Lena, two girls who grew up side by side, best friends since childhood. To anyone who saw them, they were inseparable, sisters in everything but blood. But sometimes even the strongest bonds hide the darkest cracks. Maya was the kind of person people naturally noticed. She didn't chase attention, but somehow attention always found her. At our university, she'd recently won a prestigious scholarship for her research project. Professors praised her work, classmates admired her determination, and her name was whispered around campus as someone destined for something greater. She had this way about her, walking into a room with quiet confidence, her smile warm, her laughter genuine. People gravitated toward her. And Lena? Lena was always right there at her side, smiling too, laughing too. But inside, it was different. Because while Maya's star was rising, Lena felt herself slipping into the shadows. You see, Lena wasn't untalented or unlikable. She was witty, creative, and beautiful in her own right. But when compared to Maya, she often felt like she was invisible. The other one in the friendship. The sidekick. Still, Maya never treated her that way. To Maya, Lena was her anchor. The one who knew her secrets, the one who celebrated every win with her. That's why when Maya got the scholarship, the first person she called, through tears of joy, was Lena. And Lena answered with congratulations, with clapping emojis, with smiles. But behind those smiles, something else was brewing. Picture this. The campus cafe is buzzing with chatter, coffee cups clinking, laptops open, students hurrying between classes. Maya sits at a table, excitedly telling Lena about the invitation she received to present her project at an upcoming conference. Her eyes sparkle as she speaks about her future. And Lena? She nods, sips her drink, and says all the right words. "I'm so proud of you, Maya. You deserve it." But later, when Maya leaves to take a call, Lena's expression changes. She pulls out her phone, opens Instagram, and scrolls. Post after post, photos of Maya smiling at the award ceremony, Maya tagged in stories with fellow students, Maya's name trending in the university's online forums. Like aftershocks from an earthquake, the envy hits her in waves. Each like, each comment, each repost feels like a tiny reminder. Maya is adored. Maya is winning. And you? You're not. She sighs, tossing her phone onto the table. But curiosity gets the better of her. She picks it up again, scrolling deeper. Maya's following has grown overnight. Classmates who never spoke to her before are suddenly leaving heart emojis under her photos. Even Ethan, the charming guy Lena once had a crush on, is now Maya's boyfriend. That one stings the most. Later that night, back at their dorm room, Maya and Lena sit cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by snacks. They've done this since they were 12, late-night talks, laughter spilling into the early hours. Maya scrolls through her camera roll, giggling as she shows Lena silly selfies, throwbacks from their childhood, and goofy pictures taken when they were too tired to care about how they looked. And Lena laughs too. At least, on the surface. Because as Maya scrolls, Lena notices something. Private photos, unfiltered, unposed, never meant for public eyes. Maya asleep with messy hair and drool on her pillow. Maya in pajamas with toothpaste smeared across her cheek. Maya pulling ridiculous faces during their sleepovers. Harmless, light-hearted pictures. But in the right, or maybe wrong, hands they could tell a very different story. And that's when the idea slithers its way into Lena's mind. What if she used them? Not now, not out loud. She pushes the thought away with a smile, pretending to laugh at the photos just like Maya is. But the seed is planted. A dark, quiet seed watered by envy. Days pass. Maya continues to rise. Professors praise her, Ethan adores her, strangers online root for her. And Lena continues to smile, to nod, to play the part of the loyal best friend. But behind closed doors, her resentment grows. She starts thinking about those photos more and more. About how fragile reputation can be. About how Maya, no matter how perfect she seemed, had flaws. One evening, while Maya showers, Lena picks up Maya's phone from the desk. It's unlocked. Maya has always trusted her completely, never once imagining she'd need to hide anything from her best friend. Lena hesitates, her heart pounding, palms sweaty. She tells herself she's just curious. Just looking. No harm. But with trembling fingers, she scrolls to the gallery. And there they are. The same private photos. Innocent moments frozen in time. She stares at them for a long time, her face unreadable. And then, slowly, carefully, Lena takes out her own phone. With a few quiet taps, she begins copying them, photo after photo, slipping them into her own device like stolen treasures. Her pulse races as she does it, fear mixing with a strange, twisted satisfaction. She knows this is wrong. She knows this isn't what friends do. But in her mind, she justifies it. Maybe it's balance, she whispers to herself. Maya gets everything. Just once, maybe I will get something. When Maya steps out of the shower, towel wrapped around her hair, smiling as she talks about the future, Lena's phone is already back in her pocket. She smiles back, pretending nothing happened. And in that moment, Maya has no idea that the first crack in their friendship has just been carved. But here's the thing about cracks. Left unchecked, they spread. And soon, this quiet theft, this single act of betrayal, will spiral into something much darker than Lena ever imagined. Because secrets have a way of surfacing. And when they do, they destroy everything in their path. What will Lena do with those photos? And how far will jealousy drive her, before there's no turning back? Stick around for the next chapter of this story, because trust me, what's coming will leave you questioning just how well you really know the people closest to you. And if you've been hooked by this tale so far, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so you won't miss the explosive betrayal in Scene 2. This is just the beginning. Have you ever noticed how jealousy doesn't always explode in the open? Sometimes it hides, quiet, patient, waiting for the right moment to strike. That's exactly what was happening to Lena. On the outside, she was still the loyal best friend, smiling, clapping, standing by Maya's side. But inside, her jealousy had festered into something darker. And one night, it finally broke free. The night of the party felt like magic for Maya. The campus auditorium was alive with music, laughter, and glittering lights. Students crowded the space, dressed up, buzzing with excitement. It wasn't just any party, it was a showcase of talents. Singers, poets, dancers, all stepping onto the stage to share their gifts. And of course, Maya was one of them. When her name was called, she stepped onto the stage with a nervous smile, holding a folded sheet of paper. A spoken word piece she had written. Her voice trembled at first, but soon her words poured out like fire. She spoke of dreams, of struggles, of refusing to be invisible in a world that tries to silence you. The crowd fell silent, hanging on to every line. Then thunderous applause erupted. Cheers, whistles, hands clapping in unison. Maya's face lit up with joy. Ethan, her boyfriend, was on his feet, clapping louder than anyone. His eyes glistened with pride. "That's my girl," he shouted. And in that moment, Maya glowed. But while the spotlight illuminated Maya, it also cast a deep shadow over Lena. She sat at the edge of the crowd, arms crossed, lips pressed into a thin line. She watched Maya soak in the praise, watched Ethan beam at her, watched strangers approach to congratulate her after she stepped off stage. And inside her chest, envy twisted like a knife. Why was it always Maya? Why did everyone see her? Why was Lena always background? Hours later, the party wound down. Students filtered out in groups, still buzzing about Maya's performance. Maya herself was radiant, laughing as she held Ethan's hand, surrounded by friends who wanted to hear more about her piece. Lena followed a few steps behind, silent. That silence followed her back to the dorm, where the night grew still. Maya fell asleep quickly, exhaustion pulling her under. But Lena lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Her thoughts circled like vultures. Maya doesn't even know how lucky she is. She doesn't know what it's like to be invisible. She doesn't deserve everything. Her gaze drifted toward her phone on the nightstand. And suddenly her pulse quickened. She remembered the photos, the ones she had secretly copied. Lena sat up slowly, grabbed her phone, and unlocked it. The photos glowed on the screen. Maya laughing with toothpaste on her cheek, Maya asleep in messy pajamas, Maya caught in silly, private moments. To anyone who knew her, they were harmless. But taken out of context, they could be twisted, manipulated. And Lena knew exactly where to put them. With trembling fingers, she opened a popular student-run gossip page. Anonymous submissions, messy rumors, the kind of page that thrived on scandal. She uploaded Maya's photos, framing them as something embarrassing, something scandalous. She added captions laced with poison. Her thumb hovered over the post button. For a moment, guilt flared in her chest. This was Maya, her best friend, the girl who trusted her with everything. But envy screamed louder than guilt. And with a single tap, the photos went live. The next morning, Maya woke up to a nightmare. Her phone buzzed non-stop, notifications flooding her screen. Texts, tags, messages from strangers and classmates. Confused, she opened the gossip page. And there they were, Her private photos plastered across the feed twisted into something humiliating. Her stomach dropped. Her hands shook. No, 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 she whispered. Within hours, whispers spread across campus. Students stared when she walked by, their laughter hushed but sharp, their eyes filled with judgment. Maya felt exposed, violated. Ethan rushed to her side, his face tight with anger. This is disgusting. Don't listen to them, Maya. We'll figure this out. He wrapped his arm around her, shielding her as best he could. But Maya could feel the damage sinking in. Professors looked at her differently. Classmates whispered behind her back. Her carefully built reputation, her scholarship, her recognition, suddenly felt fragile. Like it could all crumble because of this. And through it all, she had no idea who had done it. Her mind raced with possibilities. A hacker? A jealous classmate? A stranger online? Never once did she suspect Lena. In fact, when her world came crashing down, Maya turned to Lena first. That night, Maya sat curled on her bed, eyes red from crying. She whispered, I don't understand how this happened. Someone must have hacked me. And Lena, sitting right there beside her, arm draped around her shoulder, said softly, I'm so sorry, Maya. I can't believe someone would do this to you. Her voice was smooth, her face sympathetic. But beneath it all, guilt gnawed at her insides. Still, when Maya leaned into her for comfort, Lena didn't push her away. In fact, part of her reveled in it. Maya was broken, vulnerable, leaning on her. For once, Maya needed her. It was twisted, cruel, but in Lena's mind, it almost felt like justice. And yet, guilt is never quiet for long. Because every time Lena looked into Maya's tear-filled eyes, she was reminded of the truth. She wasn't comforting her friend. She was comforting her victim. The betrayal had begun. But what Lena didn't realize was that the cracks were about to widen. Because secrets? They don't stay buried forever. Maya believes she's been hacked. She believes Lena is the one person she can trust in the storm. But how long can Lena hide the truth? How long before someone else notices the lies? Stick around for the next chapter, Scene 3, where suspicions grow, alliances shift, and the web of betrayal begins to unravel. And if you're caught up in this story so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because trust me, the next twist will make you question everything. This is only the beginning. Trust is like glass. Once it's cracked, even if you glue the pieces back together, it never looks the same again. For Maya, those cracks were spreading fast. The scandal wasn't just whispers anymore, it was affecting her future. Professors who once praised her brilliance now looked at her with doubt in their eyes. One even pulled her aside after class, speaking in hushed tones. Maya, you know how seriously the university takes its reputation. These images, regardless of context, they could jeopardize your scholarship. Your conference invitation may also need to be reconsidered. The words cut deep. Maya's hands trembled as she clutched her books, nodding even though her throat burned with unspoken protests. She wanted to scream, those photos don't define me. I didn't put them out there. I'm not the villain here. But all she could do was walk away, head lowered, shame pressing down like a weight she couldn't shake. Meanwhile, Lena stayed close, always close. She walked Maya to class, brought her coffee when she looked tired, offered sympathetic smiles when the whispers got too loud. To anyone watching, she was the model of loyalty, the friend who never left her side. But beneath the mask, guilt and fear churned inside her. Because she knew the truth, she was the reason Maya's world was collapsing. And though she tried to bury that guilt, cracks were forming in her own mask too. And others were beginning to notice. Ethan was the first. Protective, loyal Ethan. He stood by Maya when no one else did, defending her fiercely. But as days passed, he started noticing small details. Like the way Lena always seemed to know what new rumor was spreading before anyone told her. Or how she used phrases that sounded eerily similar to the anonymous captions posted with the leaked photos. At first, Ethan brushed it off as coincidence. After all, Lena was Maya's best friend. Surely she couldn't betray her like that. But suspicion, once planted, doesn't die easily. Then came Claire. Claire was a mutual friend, quiet, observant, the kind of person who didn't say much but noticed everything. One afternoon, she happened to overhear Lena talking to another student in the library. The student asked casually, "How do you think Maya's handling it?" And Lena, without thinking, replied, "Well, I mean, she never should have let those photos sit around unlocked in the first place." The words froze Claire in her tracks. How would Lena know that? The posts were supposed to be anonymous. Nobody knew where the photos came from. Nobody, except the person who uploaded them. Claire said nothing at the time, but the seed of suspicion grew in her chest. Meanwhile, Maya, despite the humiliation, despite the whispers, began to find her strength again. One evening, she sat at her desk, staring at her half-finished project. Her mind screamed at her to quit, to hide, to let the storm consume her. But another voice, quieter yet stronger, pushed back. "No, this doesn't define you. You worked for this. You earned this. Don't let them take it away." With trembling hands, she picked up her pen and began writing again. Line after line, idea after idea. She poured her pain into her work, transforming shame into fuel. She whispered to herself, "I'll prove them wrong. I'll prove I'm more than this." And in that moment, Maya found a fragile but powerful resolve. But while Maya fought to reclaim herself, Ethan dug deeper. Late one night, unable to sleep, he sat hunched over his laptop. He had been trying to trace the anonymous uploads, hoping for some lead. And then he found it. Buried in the metadata of one of the uploaded photos was a clue. A digital fingerprint left behind by the device that posted it. And when Ethan cross-referenced it against accounts he knew, his heart sank. It matched Lena's phone. For a long time he just sat there, staring at the screen, disbelief crashing over him. Lena, Maya's childhood best friend. The one who never left her side. The one Maya trusted more than anyone else. It was her. She was the betrayer. Ethan's chest tightened. What was he supposed to do with this? If he told Maya, it would shatter her completely. How could she survive knowing that the one person she leaned on the most was the very one who stabbed her in the back? But if he confronted Lena directly, what then? Would she deny it? Would she lash out? Would she try to twist the story even further? Either way, the truth was now a ticking time bomb. And Ethan knew, sooner or later it would explode. Meanwhile, Lena herself was unraveling. The guilt she carried was heavier by the day. Every time Maya smiled at her, every time she whispered, "Thank you for being here," Lena felt the weight of her betrayal pressing harder on her chest. Part of her wanted to confess, to end the lie before it consumed her completely. But another part, stubborn, desperate, envious, refused to let go. She told herself, if Maya falls, maybe I'll finally be seen. Maybe I'll finally matter. But deep down, Lena knew the truth. She wasn't winning anything. She was only losing herself. The tension between them all grew thicker. Maya determined to rise again. Ethan holding a secret too heavy for one person. Lena caught between guilt and envy. And Claire, quietly connecting dots from the shadows. The stage was set. The cracks in their fragile world had widened to breaking point. And soon everything would collapse. Ethan has the proof. Claire has her suspicions. And Maya still believes Lena is her one safe place. But secrets like these can't stay hidden forever. And when the truth finally comes out, it will destroy more than just a friendship. So don't go anywhere. Scene 4 is where it all unravels. The confrontation, the heartbreak, and the final choice that will decide who survives this betrayal. And if this story has kept you hooked so far, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because trust me, you do not want to miss the explosive finale. This is where everything shatters. The dorm room was quiet that night. Too quiet. The kind of silence that weighs in the air, pressing down on your chest. Maya sat at her desk, flipping through notes she couldn't focus on, her mind still clouded by the storm of whispers on campus. Behind her, Ethan paced. He'd been carrying the secret for days now, and the burden was eating him alive. Every time Maya smiled weakly at him, every time she said, "At least I still have Lena," his heart twisted. Because he knew the truth, and the truth was cruel. Finally, he stopped pacing. He drew in a shaky breath, his voice low but firm. "Maya, there's something I need to tell you." She turned, brows furrowing at the seriousness in his tone. "What is it?" Ethan hesitated. For a moment he thought about sparing her. But lies he knew would only hurt her more in the end. So he pulled out his laptop, opened the file he had found, the metadata from the uploaded photos, and turned the screen toward her. Maya leaned in. At first, confusion clouded her face. Then recognition. Then disbelief. Her lips parted as her voice cracked into a whisper. No, this can't be right." But it was. The evidence was undeniable. The account that had uploaded her private photos, the betrayal that had destroyed her reputation. It all traced back to Lena's phone. Her best friend. Her sister and everything but blood. Lena. The realization hit like a blade to the chest. Maya staggered back from the desk, clutching her stomach as if the truth had physically knocked the air out of her. Ethan reached for her shoulder. "I didn't want to believe it either. But Maya, it was her. I'm so sorry. For a long time, Maya just stood there, trembling, tears burning her eyes but refusing to fall. Her mind spun through years of memories, sleepovers, laughter, secrets whispered in the dark, promises of forever friendship. All of it poisoned. She whispered again, her voice raw. She did this to me? Ethan nodded. His silence said everything. That night, Maya waited until Lena returned to their dorm. The door opened and Lena stepped in, her usual smile ready, but froze when she saw Maya standing in the center of the room, eyes red and filled with something Lena had never seen before. Not sadness, not fear, but fury. Maya's voice shook, but it was sharp enough to cut through the air. Tell me the truth, Lena. Did you post those photos? Lena froze. For a moment, panic flashed across her face. Then she forced a laugh. What? Maya, of course not. Why would I ever? Stop lying. Maya's voice broke, tears spilling over now. She grabbed the laptop from the desk and shoved it toward Lena. Ethan found proof. Was you? All of it. How could you? The mask cracked. Lena's fake smile dropped, replaced by something darker. Her eyes burned with bitterness as years of hidden resentment boiled to the surface. Yes, Maya, she screamed. It was me. Because I'm sick of it. Sick of being invisible. Sick of everyone worshipping you while I stand in your shadow like I don't exist. Her voice trembled with rage but also with pain. Do you know what it's like to be the friend that no one remembers? To be the one who's always second best? You get the scholarships, the praise, the boyfriend, everything. And me? I feel pity. I get scraps. Maya's tears flowed freely now, not just from betrayal but from heartbreak. Lena, you were my best friend. You had me. Wasn't that enough? But Lena shook her head, her expression twisted with envy. No, Maya. It was never enough. You never left anything for me. The silence that followed was deafening. Maya looked at her friend, the girl she had loved like a sister, and saw the truth clearly for the first time. This wasn't just about the photos. This betrayal had been growing for years, rooted deep in jealousy, hidden beneath smiles and laughter. And now, there was no saving it. Maya's voice broke one final time, soft but resolute. Our friendship died long before those photos, didn't it? Lena said nothing. Her silence was the answer. Maya wiped her tears, straightened her shoulders and whispered, "Then I'm done." She turned, grabbed her bag and walked out the door. And for the first time in her life she didn't look back. Days passed. Then weeks. Maya faced the aftermath of betrayal with scars, but also with new strength. She worked harder than ever, rebuilding her reputation not by hiding but by standing tall. When professors questioned her, she met their gaze with unshakable determination. When whispers followed her in the halls, she silenced them with her achievements. And slowly, respect returned. Her reputation, once shattered, began to piece itself back together, not because others handed it back to her, but because she fought for it. And through it all, Ethan remained by her side, reminding her of a truth she had almost forgotten. What someone does to you says more about them than it does about you. And Lena? Lena was left alone. At first, she tried to act as though nothing had happened, but soon the truth spread. Claire had connected the dots, Ethan had proof, and Maya's absence from her side told the story no one could ignore. The mask Lena had worn for years was gone, stripped away by her own actions. And with it so was everyone's trust. She had destroyed Maya's reputation for a moment, but in the end, she destroyed herself. Friendship is supposed to be a safe place. A bond of love, trust, and loyalty. But when jealousy festers, when betrayal takes root, even the strongest bond can be shattered. Maya's story is a reminder. Sometimes letting go isn't weakness, it's strength. Walking away from what poisons you is how you heal. And though her heart still ached, Maya chose herself. She chose resilience. And she rose again. Lena's betrayal didn't define her. Her courage did. If you've been following this story from the beginning, thank you for walking through every twist and turn with me. And if this story struck a chord with you, if you've ever been betrayed or if you believe in the power of choosing yourself over toxic bonds, then make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. Because here we tell stories that don't just entertain, but remind us of the strength we carry, even in our darkest moments. This was the story of shattered trust. But the next story might just change how you see the people around you. Until then, remember, sometimes the hardest goodbye is the one that sets you free.